Hey, this is Amanda. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here today. I'm looking forward to these fall DIYs. So make sure you subscribe, like, comment, and share. Let's get into the DIYs. Good morning and welcome to DIY number 1. So both of these items I got at the dollar store. It's just the little rectangular plank and the round, it's like a thick round, I guess that would be like a wooden ornament. At the Dollar Tree, and then to the right there is a dowel, which also came from there. So this is like a $2.10. Yeah, $2.10 project. So I just measured the middle of each piece, and then I did drill a hole into the center of each so that the dowel would fit in there nice and tight. This is just lightweight spackling. I'm going to cover up that other hole where the string was, because we only want the one in the middle. So that, of course, is my little container of Waverly Antique Wax, and I'm just using a baby wipe and going around the outside of this rectangular plaque. Now, these plaques aren't the smoothest things in the world. I should have sanded it down before I started doing this, but you know, you live and you learn. So I'm just going to go around, do the back. I'm going to stain the round ornament for the bottom, just to give it a cohesive look, to look like they all belong together. So the sides of these aren't smooth either. They're very rough. So I had to grab the brush to really get into the nooks and crannies there so that it looked like one solid cohesive color. So then I go to wipe, and then see right there where I had used the spackling, like any place that it was and that I sanded, it wasn't going to take. So after I finish staining the backside, I go ahead and use truffle paint by I can't think today. Sorry. So that is truffle paint by Waverly. So I'm just covering up the top part to give it, you know, more of a solid base color to cover up where I had used the spackling. And then I decided, well, if I did the bottom like that, I'll just go around the perimeter of this rectangle and give it the same look. So again, they look like they belong together. So after I've dried them with my heat tool, I went back with sanding paper, and I just wanted to rough up the edges just to give it that more distressed look. And then I'm going around those corners because, like I said, they weren't very smooth. So I wanted to smooth them out just a little bit. So I just go over and over until it's personal preference. You either do it or you don't. You distress until you love it, or you don't distress, one way or the other. It doesn't really matter. It's all personal preference. But I love a good little distress look, so I went ahead and distressed it down. But then I'm going to take this craft paint, the newer one from Walmart in the French linen, because you know I love that color. And I'm going to go and I'm going to soften it up a little bit because it is really dark. Give it some contrast. I love the contrast between dark and light colors. So I'm just going to go around and add a little bit of that in there just to give it a little zhuzhing, it's almost like distressing with paint pretty much. So this is that dry brush technique that I've talked about in my previous videos. So now this is the color Ink by Waverly, which is just their black. And I'm going to cover up the front part of this plaque. So I decided to add a little bit of black in there just to, give it, again, some more dimension. And you can either completely omit this step or you can throw it in there. You could use a different color. It's really all up to what's going to match your decor. I think I'm going to make another one of these and make it like a lighter version of this, but this is going to be so cute where I have it planned out. So we're going to dry her up. Look at how cute. I love it. Okay, so if you haven't figured out, we're making like one of those chalkboard stands. I forget where I was, and they had it for like $20. And I was like, $20? I could make that for less than $5. And I did. I made it for $2.10. Plus you add in paint and glue, and we're just going to call it $3. We're going to say this is a $3 project. So I just put some glue inside of that hole in the rectangle part, put the dowel in there, let it dry really well because you don't want to move it around once you've got it exactly where you want it. And then glue into the hole into the base, and then look how cute that is. I love it. Here we are at DIY number 2. So this round wood circle thing my friend made for me. It was awesome. She made it out of plywood. She used her table saw to turn it into a circle, and then used her table saw to put the shiplap lines in it. It was amazing. I've had it probably for about a year. I haven't used it yet, and then I thought, oh, I'm gonna make it into a fall wreath. Oh my gosh, I cannot talk this morning. So I got this stencil. From Amazon last year around fall time, or actually before fall time, and I hadn't used it yet. So my favorite way to do a stencil like this is to use a paint marker. So this is a black paint marker by Arteza. Oh my gosh, I cannot talk today. Okay, let's try that again. This is a black paint marker by Arteza. The one that I have in my hand right now is actually from the Dollar Tree, and those are just those furniture markers like that you put on scratches on your furniture, and it's in brown. So I went ahead and I filled the whole outline of this stencil out with my paint marker, and now I'm going to go in with another paint marker that I got from the Dollar Tree, and I am going to fill in all of the lines that I created. So I'm sorry if you hear that noise in the background. That is my dogs. They are playing, and it's apparently rambunctious time for them. So we're just going to keep going. So I'm going to put all of this in here, color it in, so that you can see the beautiful words that say hello fall. I know, it's crazy thinking that I'm doing fall DIYs, but check it out, guys. In the stores, if you go in there, it's fall, and in the Hobby Lobby, it's fall and Christmas. So retail is always a few months in advance. So you kind of have to, you know, do things as the stores are doing them. Because if I don't buy the supplies that I need to do my fall decor and my fall DIYs right as they come out, I'm not going to get them because they sell out so quick. So I'm just here filling it all in. making it look pretty. So I'm just adding a little red and a little orange to give it kind of like that, you know, fall maple leaf color to my leaves on this round, circle round. Circle round, that's the same thing. My wooden round, thank you. That's what it is. So I just kind of mess with it until I feel like I like it. Add a little orange into that one down there on the bottom. And then now is the fun part. I think this is so cute. I've never seen anybody just do it on the bottom. I've seen them do it all the way around. I've seen it do it on the edges. I've seen them do it. Oh my goodness, these dogs. Okay, so I am putting those half round wooden beads on the bottom of this sign. So I picked 3 big ones, 3 mediums, and no. So 3 big, 2 medium, and 6 small. So I put it in the wrong spot, so here I am. The nice thing about the glue is that if you catch it right away, you can just kind of roll it off and go from there. And I wanted it to overhang just a little bit, not be completely flush with it. Like I was doing something a little different, giving it a little extra pizzazz for my sign here that will be hanging on my door. But not yet. I promise to not put it up yet. But when it is time for Hello Fall, I will put it up there. So I love me some buffalo check. I love buffalo check in all colors. My favorite is black and white. That's my jam. That's what I use with fall. So I'm not the bow maker, guys. Like, you're not going to watch tutorials to learn how to make bows from me because I'm bowly challenged. But I can make a cute messy bow. So I learned how to make this messy bow from Amber Strong. She's on Facebook and YouTube. You can look her up. She has a bazillion and one times that she uses this bow, and I love it. Love it, love it, love it. It's so easy. So you just take the fabric, the strings, the ribbon, whatever you're going to use to make a bow, and you just cut it, you know, around the same length. So this right here is really cool. I found this at the Dollar Tree, and it's like burlap trim, and I had never seen it before, so super excited to add it into this bow. So after you've cut them all down to the size that you want and all the different colors and whatever it is that you want to add to this, you just kind of crisscross them laying down. There's no rhyme or reason to it. That's the whole point. It's supposed to look messy and fun. So I'm going to take a zip tie, and I'm going to zip tie this sucker in the middle. And then you kind of fold it up in the middle there, and then you just trim down. Oh, my show asked me if I was still watching. So you fold it in the middle, and then you just kind of cut it so that they're all even. And then you fan it out however it is that makes you happy. What look are you going for? Do you want it to look like a bow? Do you want it to look like a flower? I mean, there's all different kinds of ways to do this. That's the best part about the messy bow, is that no two will ever look the same. So I'm just over here playing with it, figuring out what I want, cut off that zip tie, and then I go, oh, okay, well, I do want it to kind of look like a bow, so I put it on there like that. So you'll see when I show the after picture of this that I ended up changing the bow completely. But for this video purposes, this is going to be just fine. It just shows you how to make it. So those little cotton pods I did get at the Dollar Tree. These came 6 to a pack. Recently I've seen ones that are 3 to a pack, but they're way bigger. So it just depends on what you find or what you want to put in the middle of your bow. So I added the cotton pod, and then I needed a little green because I think every bow needs some green in it. And so I grabbed this faux eucalyptus from Walmart, pull off a couple pieces, put it on there, and she is ready to go. Here we are at DIY number 3. This adorable little truck I picked up at the Dollar Tree. I picked up like 10 because I couldn't resist them. I am a sucker for a truck. I think they're so cute. So I just went ahead and pulled that apart. I wanted to make a bigger middle so that I could put more stuff in it, because as you saw, it wasn't very wide on the inside to like put stuff in, because I thought it'd be cute to put pumpkins or cotton pods or whatever it is that you want to put in there, because this is my fall one or my Halloween one. I could put spiders back there, all kinds of cute stuff. So I'm just using my tumbling tower blocks from the Dollar Tree, trying to figure out exactly what size I'm going to make it, how many of them I need, that kind of good stuff. So once I had it all figured out, I took this black chalkboard paint from the Dollar Tree and I just kind of smoothed it all over. And then I'm going to take a baby wipe and I'm just going to use the baby wipe to coat all of these tumble tower blocks. Man, I'm telling you, this video is just going to be rough. Sorry, guys. So I'm going to coat them all up so that they are painted black, and that all the sides are going to be painted, because you're going to be able to see them either way. I mean, you probably wouldn't be able to see the bottom, but I like a finished look, so I'm just going to go ahead and paint them all the way around. So once I was done making a gigantic mess, I did sand them down a little bit. I thought I hit record, and apparently I didn't, but I just took a piece of sandpaper. I sanded down the edges a little bit to give it that more rustic look to it. I didn't want them to look super stark, like black, against my truck. So that's what I did. And then after I sanded them, I thought that I was, again, recording, and I put them in the truck. So I'm making the second set just so you could see how I put them together. So I put 4 together on the bottom and then 2 sticking up like that. And I put them in the truck. So I glued both sides, and then I took a set of 2 and I stuck them on the top so that it had more stability when I was holding it. So I got this beautiful orange color. It's a Waverly color. I cannot remember the top of it off the top of my head. So I'm just going to paint the whole truck in this orange color, all the way around, inside, out, anything that you can see. I'm not painting the tires orange. Those will be black as well. So there it is, all finished, and I used a little bit of that antique wax to do the side rails right there, just to give it more of a realistic look. I think it came out so cute. I did sand it down a little bit to give it a little bit of rustic look, and that is all I did for this lovely truck. So here we are at DIY number 4. So these little wood planks come from the Dollar Tree. They come in a pack of 6. I haven't seen them in a long time, but I bought a ton of them, so I had extras. So it looks like I'm only using 1, but I am using 2. I actually glued 2 together to give it a little bit more of a thicker base. And then I have these fabulous half wood beads that I got off of Amazon, and I'm just going to make a little frame around this square. So I'm going to glue them all on and try to get them as straight as possible, but we'll see.
You stole my heart like a thief on the run. You're not much for taking chances, but you're taking a chance on me. And now we're building bridges as far as the eye can see. And I never thought I'd find anything close to all that I knew you would be. Ain't it beautiful? Darling, beautiful.
So now that they're all glued on, I'm going to I sprayed it with a little bit of water. It helps the antique wax to smooth out. See how like smooth that goes on now? So I just added a little water. It's kind of essentially like using the baby wipe, but I'm just adding a little water to it, and it just helps spread out the wax because the wax is a little thick, and I just really wanted to give that stained effect. If you don't have the wax, like I said, you can always use watered down brown paint. You could change the color. You could do gray, you could do black, you could do any color that you want. I just wanted to have this base of that beautiful brown that the antique wax provides. So I'm just going to go around and I'm going to paint all of the surfaces all around the beads, the bottom of this board. I even do the back. So that way, because it's going to be a standing piece, so you'll be able to see the back.
Bridges as far as the eye can see. And I never thought I'd find anything close to all that I.
So I'm just going to remove the excess wax with the baby wipe and help spread it all around a little bit even more to get in all those nooks and crannies from where the beads are at. And then here I am. You could see from this shot, you could see that there are 2 of these little planks put together. I just wanted to give it a little bit more thickness because the beads were thick and it just looked funny with just the one on there. So here it is, all done with the brown. And now I'm going to add plaster. By Waverly is my favorite color. It's not white, it's not really cream, it's somewhere in the middle, a happy medium of color. So I'm just going to add all over. So I started with just dry brushing this. That was my original thought, and then I was looking at it and I was like, no, that's not really what I'm going for. So that's the one thing about crafting is you'll see me mess with many different things because when I'm doing these, I have an idea of what I'm doing, but I don't always have a definite idea of what, a definite like laid down plan of what I'm going to make. That's the fun thing about crafting is the creativity that comes along with it. So you start one way, you think that's the way that you want it, but then you can go ahead and change things up. So I decided to use the plaster and paint all around and let that antique wax color really be the peekaboo that comes through. Gives it more depth to the white than just going straight white on top of these, because otherwise it wouldn't have had the same look. So that's why I did it in the 2 steps. But you can either just leave the brown, you could just do the white. Like I said, change it however you want, whatever makes you happy, but this is what I loved. So this is my favorite project that I did in this DIY. In this video here, I think it's so cute. So I love my heat tool because you know I'm impatient. So I went ahead and dried all the paint, and you can really see in those beads, like the it gives it more of that weathered look instead of just a flat color. So I like texture, weather, whatever. So I'm going to take this sanding paper and I'm just going to smooth out the sides and go over the beads a little bit just to give it a little bit more rustic look. This is really farmhouse, and so I wanted to give it, you know, that more of like worn down, been beaten up look.
We made our bed and it feels
So originally I had a whole nother thing planned out for this. That's why there's orange paint on the paper. But I didn't like it. So I cut all of that out and we're here. So these are those Sola wood flowers that I've used before. I love them. I'm so glad I had picked them up in those fall colors. So this right here is eucalyptus from Walmart. I just went ahead and pulled off a sprig and glued it down. So as you see, I put little feet on this little square because it is going to be standing. However, I don't know what happened to the footage, but I just took two more of those Jenga blocks that I had painted black from the last DIY, and I put them on the bottom so that it would be easier to stand. So I'm just going to add some glue here. I'm going to put the flower down. I really had to hold that for like a couple minutes to get it to lay down and the glue to dry. And then I took another one of those cotton pods that I got from the Dollar Tree, and I broke it in half because I thought it would look super cute. You know, just the half of it. So right there, you could see it perfect. Came out super cute. I absolutely love this DIY.
as far as the eye can.
So this is going to be a bonus DIY. It's not quite a full tutorial, but I didn't want to leave it out because it's in the final shot. So these are the little, they were like large wood signs from the Dollar Tree that I cut down into 3 and 4 inches. Some of them were 3, some of them were 4. I think these are 4 inches. And then I'm just using these cute little stickers that I had gotten from the Dollar Tree, and then I cut the Farm Sweet Farm from with my Cricut. So I'm just making a little book stack here, and the reason why I didn't do this as a full DIY is because I pulled out of the screen so many times. This was a holy hot mess, but it's a really cute concept, and I wanted to share it with you because these are super easy to duplicate. So I'm just using Mod Podge to make sure that that stays on there and that doesn't peel off. So a little Mod Podge over all the stickers just keeps it, it's just a nice little sealant, keeps it everything in there. So I'm going to dry it just a little bit. I don't know what happened with that little spot right there, but it works. So I'm just going to add a little black to the sides, just kind of give it a little rustic look to it so it's not so stark white, because this is white, white, white. See what I said about I kept pulling out of the screen. So, but I didn't want to leave it out because it's so cute when it's done. So I'm just going around and just adding some black and kind of distressing it out. And then as you could see, like the back for some reason wasn't completely painted. So I'm just going to go and put some more paint on the back because even though it's the back, it'll bother me. So um, just using my heat tool to speed it up, put another coat of white on top of that. So here I'm using my favorite buffalo check ribbon that I get from the Dollar Tree. I love it. It's so soft and pliable. And I'm just going around the edges here. I don't want to cover up the cute little flowers on top, but I did want to give it a little, like it's being held on right there. So I'm just making a bow. Remember I said you're not going to get bow tutorials from me because it's I'm bowly challenge, but I do the best that I can. And so I just put a little bow here. I'm going to go ahead and glue it, figure it out where I want it first, and then I'm going to glue it on and then trim the edges. I love the way this came out. It's so cute. Sorry about the rough DIY, but sometimes stuff happens. So here's a final shot of it. I put it on a tiered tray. It's going to go with my um, with any of my farmhouse decor. It could go exactly the way that I have it set out right here. That adorable little pumpkin is from the Dollar Tree. So if you love that, you better run and go get you one because they go quick. But here it is all together with our little chalkboard, our cotton sign, the little book stack. I just put some flowers in the truck and then our hanging sign. So that is the what I ended up doing with the bow. I love all how these DIYs come out, and I hope that you love them too. Thanks for being here. Bye.